back on the Appalachian Trail. Yeehaw! Oh my God. Why do I keep doing this to myself? Of course, as I'm saying that, I'm smiling. But I know I've got a big climb right off the bat. It's been a couple months since I've been out here doing this, and the pack weighs, it's only 31 pounds, but it feels like a tank on my back. So I know it's going to take about 30 minutes to get used to the weight again. And yeah, so I'm doing probably around 2 weeks on the AT down in the Shenandoahs. I'm going to hike through the Shenandoah National Forest, National Park, and get myself prepared for meeting with my trail sister navigator up in Vermont in about 3 weeks, where we're going to do a couple of weeks through Vermont and New Hampshire. So where is the trail? I don't remember it being this far away. I'm going to put this down and check. I found it. Up we go. Let's get it rolling. My biggest concern out here is water. I'm only going around 7 miles today, and I'm going to stop at a shelter that I know there's water at. But after that, for tomorrow, I know I've got a 12-mile stretch at minimum where there's no water. So yeah, this is going to be a struggle. I'm just going to have to kind of play it by ear and feel out what's happening up in front of me. But the biggest problem is that the through hiker bubble has long gone through here, and there's very little information on far out about water sources. So I'm just winging it. The good thing is that this trail through the Shenandoahs crosses over the road and lookouts on Skyline Drive many times. And if I get desperate for water, I can always beg it from people driving on Skyline Drive. So I've got this uphill. I need my trekking pole, so later, guys. For those of you who follow me on a regular basis, and there's not a lot of you, but I appreciate everyone that does. I figure there's about 60 or 70 people of my 370 subscribers that follow all my videos. And I'm fine with that. I'm not complaining about that at all. I kind of like it that way. I think the people that are subscribed that don't watch my videos are the ones that don't like my politics or my social views, and that's okay. I'm good with that too. It's America. You can believe what you want, even if you're wrong. But I left home a couple of weeks ago, and I've been on quite the adventure, quite the trip. I spent about a week driving from North Carolina, where I dropped my dog off with my friend Deb, and she's kind enough to take care of my beast for the couple of months that I'm going to be gone. And but I left there, and I went from there up to Damascus, where I had lunch with a lady that I met on the trail down just before I got to the NOC, the Nantahala Outdoor Center. Nantahala, potato. For you folks that have followed me, you know what that is. And so I spent the afternoon with her, having lunch and just talking about the trail. After I left her in North Carolina this spring, she became a ridge runner in Virginia. So, oops, sorry. God, I suck at this. But so she's had a summer full of adventure as a ridge runner on the AT trail. And so after I left there, I drove further up north, drove up to Sunflower Cottage Hostel, and got to see my good friend Sula. I'm going to put this away. I'm going uphill. I need my trekking poles. I am not prepared for coming out here at all. So I'll talk about Sula when I come back. All right, so I left off talking about Sunflower Cottage Hostel and Sula. You know, she's just a cool person. I love her personality. I love her passion for working with kids. She's just a good person. And so ended up staying the night at her hostel, Sunflower Cottage Hostel, in Cascade, Maryland. Had a good time, and it was a good visit. We've become, I think, from my perspective, we've become close friends, and it's enjoyable. She's just a good person. Anyways, after that, I drove up to I don't even remember exactly where I met them. You can watch their videos, and who I'm talking about is a young family out here that I met also when I was down south earlier this year. And it's a mom and dad and their two young kids. And the first of the family that I met was their young daughter, who's 12, and her name out here is DJ Butterfly. She is a social butterfly. That's how she got her name. And I got introduced to her family through her, and I was able to do a little trail magic for them down south. And I started following them. Whew, I'm dying. I've come about a mile, and I'm breathing hard. My legs hurt. This pack is heavy. But I know the first couple days out here is just gonna suck. It takes a couple days for your body to get used to this grueling trail, and just gonna have to suck it up and get through it, and I will. But so anyways, I met these folks down in North Carolina. I became what I consider friends with the family as I was going down into the Nantahala Outdoor Center, and I caught up to them as they were putting up their tent for the day. It rained all night, and they were drying out their stuff. Talked to them for a few minutes, and when they got down to knock, I ended up doing a little trail magic for them. Got them a place to stay where I was staying at Gorgeous Stays, which is a hostel made up of tiny houses. And okay, I'm back uphill again. All right, I'll be back, man. I need the trekking pole. All right, so I think I was talking about the Jones family when I first met them. I gave them a little trail magic and hooked them up with a tent pad at Gorgeous Stays and a couple other little things. But it's just a cool family, and I like them so much. The mom, the dad, great parents. The kids, the two kids, to age 10 and 12, Leatherfoot and DJ Butterfly. And yeah, so I started watching their videos. Their video channel is Big Walk Jones, all one word. It's all capital letters, but you can do it in any letters, it doesn't matter. Big Walk Jones, you'll know them when you see them. They're a hoot. They're having so much fun out here. And I love their family dynamics. And I even told them at one point that I was envious because they kind of have the family I always wanted and never did when I'm talking about my siblings and my parents. So it was fun. It was fun. But anyway, so as I'm following them, I know that at some points they were struggling a little bit, but they worked through it, and that's fun to watch. You watch their real-time, real-life struggles on the trail, and you watch how they pull together as a family, and they keep going, and it's impressive to watch. I wished that I'd had a consistent partner through the trail when I attempted my through hike in 23. If I'd had anybody that was that consistent and that uplifting through the whole trail, then I would have made it easily. I didn't, and I didn't. The only person I feel like could have done that for me was if my trail system navigator hadn't injured herself and gotten off the trail. But we'll talk about that stuff more later. So anyways, after I left Sula's place, I met this family up on the trail, and spent 4 days with them. And I was able to slack pack them over some of the tougher parts of the trail where they were at, near Lehigh Gap. I met them at the Lookout Hostel in Pennsylvania. Yeah, Pennsylvania. And I was able to slack pack them for 3 days, I think, maybe 4. I don't remember. And we had a good time together. Water was real sparse up there, so I met them at strategic trailheads to make sure they had enough water, and put them up in a hotel. Gave them a little platinum blazing action, which was so much fun. Being able to spend time with this family was just a joy, and I can't emphasize that enough. It was a joy. The last day with them, I was able to hike in to the woods with them to a shelter and spend the night next to their tent, and it was a great experience. Something that I will cherish for all my life, and I hope that I can become long-term friends with their family like I have with other people on the trail. And so after my 4 days with them, drove to Philadelphia and spent a couple nights with my trail sister navigator and her family, who I now consider my family. And I've said it before on here, and I'll say it again. I love her and her family. Her husband is he's just a great guy, and her 2 kids. Yeah, good stuff. So, all right, back uphill again. This way it's going to be. The first 3 miles on today is going to be mainly uphill, and then it's a series of ups and downs until I get to the shelter. I don't know if I mentioned it before, but I'm only going, I think, 7.7 miles today to get to the next water source. So water is going to be a challenge here. All right, I'm going to put this away for a minute while I go uphill. Now, let me just stand. I don't want to tire myself out. I'm going to put it away for a minute. All right. Looks like I got a little bit of time here. Slight downhill, slightly level for a moment or two. See how long it lasts. But so anyways, after I spent a couple days with Navigator's home, got to see my young friend Cole. Oh my God, his hair's as long as mine. That's crazy. Blew me away when I saw him, but he looks good. He wears it well. He wears it well. All right, try this again. So I actually flew out of Philadelphia to Denver, Colorado. And the plan was originally to meet my youngest son there, and we were going to do a few days of whitewater rafting at Browns Canyon and at the Numbers. And well, a couple weeks before we left on our trip, I got a call from the folks who run the place, and they said there's just not enough water in the Arkansas River. So they had to cancel that trip, and they moved us to another place on the Arkansas called Royal Gorge, which in the springtime with the snow melt, it's huge, man. It's big water, big water. Well, again, a couple days before we were supposed to leave, I get a call. Not enough water in that part of the river either. So we canceled whitewater rafting, and we already had our tickets, so we decided to go out, rent a car. We rented a Jeep Wrangler, and with a plan to hit as many national parks as we could hit. We ended up hitting 3 of them. All right, I've been on the trail for an hour and a half now, and I've come 2 miles. That's slow. but I'm out of shape. It's all uphill, so that's normal. But I got a damn fly buzzing me, and it's probably a deer fly. Either deer fly or horse fly, but we'll take care of him. I'm exhausted. I said before, first couple days out on the trail are hard, but it is so friggin' hot. I am just absolutely pouring sweat. Drank a bottle of water, a full bottle of water before I got on the trail with my breakfast drink, and I've got 2 full bottles left with me. And I've got about 5.5 miles to go to get to the next water source. So, yeah, I'm hurting a little bit. I'm listening to my body. I'm taking a break, but I'm sweating so much. I got a little lightheaded. Not bad, but as soon as I felt it, I stopped. And I'm going to take probably about a 10-15 minute break here, and see if I can't cool my body down a little bit. Drink just a little bit of water. I gotta ration it. But wow, it's hot. Let's see, what's the temperature now? Temperature now is, where's my thermometer? There it is. It is 78 degrees, and it's still going to go up another 12 degrees. So, wow. I'm hoping that when I get on the top of these mountains, it's a little bit cooler, but in my experience in the summertime, it does not get a lot cooler. 1 or 2 degrees, if that. Sometimes if it's above tree line, which it won't be today or any time this week, it can even get hotter than it does down in the valleys. But yeah, I'm hurting a little bit right now. But this too shall pass. I have no choice. I've got 5.5 miles to go. All right, I'm going to put this down, and as soon as I get to another downhill section, I'll finish my story of my trip out to Colorado. So there's a couple of deer up here. I startled them and they took off through the woods. I think one is still there. I'm not seeing them now. There were at least 2 of them. All right. Whew. Folks, I'll tell you what, it's hot. There's a small part of me that thinks I might have made a mistake coming here to hike this section. As hot as it's going to be, and as scarce as the water's going to be. We'll see. I'll tough it out for as long as I can. Hang on, let me put these trekking poles in my hand. Today's hard because it's my first day back out. I know that. And I just need to suck it up and get through today. Get to the water source. Tomorrow's going to be a really tough day because every word I've gotten, either through far out or verbally from people, is that tomorrow's the 12 miles between water sources. That's hard. I'm carrying 3 bottles, so I can fill up 3 bottles, and those are 700 milliliter bottles, so it's almost 3/4 of a liter each one. And I've got my 2-liter Cenox, so, but, you know, that pros and cons. You can carry enough water to get through, but then you just packed on an extra 7-8 pounds to your pack. And in this heat and humidity, that's tough. I can feel my body. It's yelling at me right now, like, what are you doing? This is not what we're supposed to be doing. Hot, humid, and I've gotten lightheaded a couple times, and so when that happens, I stop for a few minutes and take some water. But I gotta ration that water because there's no water for the next 5.5 miles. I've got enough to last me, but I've got to be careful. You never know. Here's the problem. One of the many problems out here is that, the bubble's long gone. The thru hikers, they're gone. They've been gone for a while. So the only people who are out here are really people like me doing a section hike through the Shenandoahs, or day hikers. Day hikers don't put notes in far out. They don't usually even have far out. Section hikers, yeah, they don't put notes in far out either. So, the last note that I'm seeing on these water sources, maybe a month and a half ago. And so even if it says there's water, that was a month ago. There may not be water there now. So it's a risk. I'm pretty sure about this first water source because it's an actual stream, and it does not normally dry out. It hasn't dried out in years. But beyond that, I simply do not know. I know they've gotten a lot of rain here lately, but sometimes that, when you're in a drought, the rains that you do get these days are gully washers, where you get dumped on for half an hour, and it all either runs off or gets sucked into the ground. And doesn't do a lot for the water sources, the streams, the trickles, etc. So I'm kind of on a wing and a prayer here. If I can acclimate to this heat and humidity over the next few days, then I think I'll be okay. But the big issue again is going to be water. I know one thing I'm going to do is each time I hit a road crossing where there's a lookout and there's cars parked, I'm going to ask if they have any water. And if I can get a bottle, then I can pound it, and that'll help me get through the tough sections. But I know occasionally people will come up here and put water caches. I haven't read about any of those recently. I've read about some in the past, but I even thought about coming up here on South of Skyline Drive and putting my own water cache. But, if you do that, you don't know if other hikers are going to come through and it's all going to be gone by the time you get there. I could hide it, but that's not fair either, because other people might be coming through and they're dying of thirst, and that water could save them, and I could be okay. It's a catch-22. I'm just going to have to do the best I can through here. That's all I can do. I'm going to be talking to myself a lot on my video because it keeps me company. I have run into one day hiker, but she was coming off the trail. We talked for a few moments and she was gone. I don't expect to see a lot of people out here. So for the most part, if I'm able to stay out here for the full 110 miles or so that I'm doing on this trail through the Shenandoahs, I don't expect to meet very many people. All right, going uphill. I need my trekking poles. Look at the little guy I just found. Hey, buddy. I'm not going to bother you much. You have a good time, baby. Oh, folks, I'm hurting. I've come a little over 4 miles, and this heat, it's taking me down. Taking me down hard. I'm starting to get a little worried because I'm not sweating as much as I was in the beginning, and that means I'm starting to get dehydrated. So definitely not drinking enough water. Out here in this kind of humidity, hang on a second. I would be drinking, if I had water, at least a bottle every mile and a half. And I just don't have it. I've got 3.5 miles to get to water. And I'm going to be okay. I'm going to make it. I've still got a bottle and a quarter. But I know I've got some hills. I'm going to need more water going up those hills. And this is hard. It's hard. I can feel my body begging for water, cold water. It's just not there. I know I went through one parking area. There was nobody stopped there. I think the next one is a small lookout. Cars usually pull off to check things out. And listen, I'm not opposed to begging for water. If they've got something cold to drink, I'm going to find a way to get it from them. Ow! I've been here before. These are those old tractor seats. And at the bottom of this hill, there's a parking area that usually a lot of cars are parked at because there's 4 or 5 outhouses or yeah. This is where I met 3 years ago Chuck and Mel, and I've been trying to reach them ever since. Every time I come into this area, God almighty, would it be wonderful to see them now. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. Yeah, the last time I hiked through here, I was going south into Waynesboro. Did a 22 mile day south. Going south is a lot easier on this section of the trail than going north, because I'm getting my ass kicked right now. I shit you not. I am getting my ass kicked. But at the bottom of this hill, there's a bunch of porta potties, and I'm hopeful that some people are there and I can scrounge some cold fluids from them. All right. Whew. All right. Last night at the shelter. Wow. If there's anybody out there that think doctors cannot be stupid, it's simply not true. There was a doctor and his wife that were staying in the shelter. I did stay in the shelter last night. At one point there was myself. Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to put this down for a minute to get over there, around or under this. What's gonna be the best way? I think, wow. All right, I'll be back in just a second. It wasn't too bad, but going under with a pack on your back, it was a little challenging, and then going over the next, but I'm over and under, so we're good to go. All right, so where was I? Yeah, dumbass doctor, and I believe he even said he was an orthopedics surgeon, and also a pilot. And but anyways, there was when I got to the shelter, him and his wife were there, and a little bit later on, maybe half hour or so, another guy showed up, a hiker who's doing what I did in 23 and 24. He's out here to finish up his trail after not being able to make it last year. So I definitely empathized with him, and we had some good conversation about our adventures. He was a very like-minded person. Did I mention he's from the UK? Yeah. He brought up politics, and we talked about how our country is going down the proverbial shithole right now with Trump and his dirty diapers. And I noticed quite early on in our conversations that the doctor kind of kept his mouth shut. That's indication one that he doesn't agree, and he's afraid to put his 2 cents worth in, because everything we're talking about makes sense, even to dummies. And so we hardly spoke a word the rest of the night. The guy from UK, he left to go up to the summit of Calf Mountain. I believe I took a video of that yesterday. There's a nice clearing up there. I told him that it was pretty flat, good clearing, that looked like it might be a little rocky underneath the surface, so he might have trouble getting his tent up. But anyways, so he left, and I don't think I have any other conversations with the doctor and his wife. I think they were, at least he was. I don't know. I'm not going to make a guess, but we didn't speak the rest of the evening. And they went to bed 7 o'clock. I can't go to bed at 7 o'clock. 9 o'clock is hiker midnight. I tried to stay up till 9 o'clock reading my book. I think I fell asleep probably about 8:15, 8:20. Slept through the whole night. I was pretty tired. I drank a ton of water from that spring yesterday to try to get myself rehydrated, and I feel pretty good this morning. Had my breakfast drink to get me hydrated starting out this morning. So between that one and the 3 bottles I'm carrying, I've got 4 bottles of water to get me to where I'm going. And hopefully, there's water at the next shelter. But anyways, so one of the things I did notice is that even after I had conversations about some issues I had with people not hanging their food properly, and in the past, in 23, when I was through hiking, or attempting a through hike, didn't faze the guy yesterday. So when I went to bed, his food was just laid out wide open in front of the shelter. There was a bear pole 30 feet away. 30 feet away. And this guy was too damn lazy to put his food on the bear pole. I heard him talking yesterday about black bears, and they're no big deal, blah, blah, blah. Where I live, we have grizzly bears, and they'll come get you, but black bears, you just got to yell at them, they'll run away. Yeah, you know what? Maybe they will, and maybe they won't. Every year, there are stories out on this trail about black bears who get their nose into food, and they will go through somebody's tent. Are they intentionally attacking a human? No. But they're going for the smell of the food. And this guy's food, like I said, was wide open in front of the freaking shelter. And I should have said something last night. I didn't. But this morning as they were leaving, I guess maybe just to avoid a major confrontation, I did mention to them that there are bear attacks out here every year dealing with food. And yeah, you're right that sometimes you can yell at a bear, make yourself look big, and they'll run away. But sometimes they won't. And unfortunately, what happens when you have morons out here like this doctor, if a bear had come into the shelter last night and gotten that food, and even if we'd yelled at it and it ran away, we'd have to report it. And the next step is to find that bear and either relocate or euthanize that bear. That ain't cool. That ain't cool at all. You know, this is their home. You have to respect their home. You have to respect the trail. You have to respect the people around you. This man had zero respect. And that was sign number 2, that he was a conservative. I can't wrap my head around people like them. I can't wrap my head around it. They have so little respect for where they're at. And so when I told that to this guy, his response was, huh. And they walked away. I got the feeling that his wife was not happy with his decisions to do that with his food. So I'm hopeful that she kind of tears him a new one. But I doubt it. The reality is that most wives of conservatives are mollified. I use that word. They're submissive to their husbands. And it is what it is. You see all kinds out here. Disappointing. Anyways, hi, Bunny Rabbit. Hi, buddy. There he is. Hi, little guy. Yeah, you got to respect these guys. All right, Mr. Bunny Rabbit. I don't want to scare you, but I've got to get through. So I'm going to... Look out, little there. He took off, man. He spun wheels. He's like, I'm out of here, man. Good stuff. Yeah, the last time I came through here, I saw deer in 23, but this time I've seen deer, I've seen rabbits, I've seen squirrels, I've seen a black snake yesterday. Just caught a glimpse of him hauling butt into the weeds. And my biggest fear out here right now is copperheads. That was not really a concern when I came through here in 23. Never saw a copperhead. I've never seen a copperhead out here other than people's pictures and videos. And my friends that I've talked about in the past from the Netherlands that now have a trail name, and you know, I don't know what I've talked about with them. When I met them earlier in the year when I was down in Georgia and North Carolina, it was a father-daughter from the Netherlands, and thanks to my good friend Sula, just inadvertently telling me about a app that these two folks from the Netherlands had that was pretty cool. And I said, from the Netherlands, daddy and daughter? She said, yeah. I said, I met them down in North Carolina. I think it was North Carolina. And helped the the young lady. Her name is Double Dutch now. And I help the young lady with blisters on her feet. And her father is called the Dutchman. So appropriate names. I like it. And but they stopped at Sula's, and so she gave me that information, and I hooked up with them on their app called Polar Step. And so if you're doing any kind of traveling, Polar Step is pretty cool. You can basically set up every place that you stop, whether it's on the trail or a road trip or whatever. You post pictures out there, and sometimes videos. And at the end of your trip, you can hit one button and get a book of your trip. Pretty cool. So I haven't started using it yet, other than to keep track of Double Dutch and Dutchman. And I was able to get contact with them, which I thought I'd lost forever. Well, now I haven't. So she was excited. Her name's Jackie. She was excited that I contacted them. And but anyways, what I was getting to is that Dutchman, her father, through the Shenandoahs, was bitten by a copperhead, and he had to take a week off the trail to deal with that. So copperheads are they're out here now. So I've got to watch my step. I'm not too worried about rattlesnakes, but the copperheads, yeah, different kind of critter. So yeah, and I got to walk through this stuff. All right, I'm gonna put this away so I can use my trekking pole just in case I need to fend off a copperhead. So see you in a bit. That's a big fucking bear. Oh my God. That is a full fucking size bear. I hope I got a good video of that bear. That bear was big. That may be the biggest one I've ever seen in the wild. It certainly compares to the one I saw in New York. But the one in New York, he was at the top of a big rock pile, and he turned and he took off. This one, he couldn't care less. He was slowly moving away from me, but he was in no hurry. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Adrenaline was pumping. That was a big old bear. I hope I got a good video of her. Him, whatever it was. Whew. Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. I heard something move in the forest, and I glanced up, didn't see anything. Then I heard it again. I looked up again. Big bear. Yeah, when I started yelling, didn't face him. He looked up, kept doing whatever he was doing. And so once I put my camera down, started banging my poles together and making myself big, then he moved forward with purpose. But I'm probably a half mile away from where I saw him now, and I hope I'm in the clear. I got all downhill now to the parking area. They are. And they know they can't hunt here, so they'll come right up to your camp. Really? I am currently sitting at a shelter called Black Rock Hut. I was considering going on to Loft Mountain Wayside Campground, but I decided to wait a little bit because I thought I heard thunder off in the distance, and yeah, I'm glad I didn't. I stopped here long enough to dry off, and so I'm relatively dry from the rain and sweat yesterday and today. But yeah, I'm glad I didn't do that extra 6 miles to get to that campground. I'll do that tomorrow. But yeah, it's storming, and it's been a pretty good gully washer. So, all right, yeah, having fun in the Shenandoahs. Good morning, everybody. It's my third day out here on this short little practice hike, get in shape hike, warm up hike, shakedown hike, whatever you want to call it. My third day out here. Whew. Between the blue blaze coming off the shelter this morning and look at this. Yeah, I'm glad we're not climbing this yet. This is what I'll be climbing in a couple of weeks when we get up to Vermont, New Hampshire. But not yet. Yeah, between the blue blaze coming out of the shelter and coming to the top of this hill, almost a mile uphill. That was not fun. That was not fun. I had to stop numerous times. Oh, I guess I do get to walk a little bit of this. Yeehaw. Oh yeah, okay. Oh, what a nice breeze. What a nice view. Yeah. All right. That was worth a mile uphill. That's beautiful. That breeze, oh my God, that breeze feels so good. It is so hot and humid already this morning. It's ridiculous. It's supposed to get up near 90 today. My body's just not acclimated to this kind of heat and humidity yet, especially after coming from Colorado where it's dry. They don't even know what humidity is out there. And let me try to work my way through this mess without killing myself. Yesterday was exciting, as you saw. I saw my first bear this year, and probably the biggest bear I've ever seen on the trail. Kind of disappointed. I had another video clip, I thought, but it seems to have disappeared. I had about a 1.5 minute video clip of the bear off to my left up in the woods before. Hang on, let me see what we got here. All right. Not sure what's down here. Let's see what we got. It's just a spur trail. All right, we're Appalachian Trail, south, north. I'm going this way. But yeah, I had about a 1.5 minute clip of me yelling and screaming at the bear. I don't know. Maybe I forgot to push the record button. I was so excited or scared or whatever you want to call it. It kind of came out of the blue. But that was a big old bear. But at least I did get him. I had to put my camera down because he wasn't moving quickly enough for me. And so I put my camera down, banged my trekking poles together, and they don't like that sound at all. So that's when he decided to take off. Look at this. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Yeah, that's the kind of crap we'll be hiking on. But look at that. Oh man, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. When I got to the shelter yesterday, there were a couple young men there, and they had their tent set up in the shelter, which is really a no-no. If a thru hiker or a long distance hiker had gotten there and they wanted that, stay in that shelter, that would have been an issue. Oh man, this is almost through it. But when I got there, they woke up and they did pack up and leave. But they were a couple of good kids. They didn't know. They're just out on a road trip, some adventure before school. And we talked for a good hour or so. I feel bad for them, though, because when they left a little key ring with a couple of keys on it. I hope those are not very important. You know, when you get in a situation like that, you don't know whether to leave them, take them. So I left them. So if you guys are watching, your keys are hanging on a rope at that shelter. It wasn't a car key. It looked like a house key, and maybe a small lock key. And it wasn't me that found them. There was two ladies that showed up shortly after they left. And they stayed around for about an hour, rested and got water. And but I thought about moving on a little bit further yesterday, but man, it's just this heat and humidity. You know, I'm not too proud to admit it's kicking my ass. I mean, already this morning, let me look real quick. Hang on a second. My thermometer is showing 70 degrees, but I'm gonna tell you something, man. I'm dripping sweat. The humidity is just oppressive. Doing that 1 mile uphill out the gate. Yeah, the sweat's just pouring. I've got a dual plan today, and I suspect if it does get anywhere near the 90 degrees they're talking about, I'm going to go with the short plan, which is only about 7 miles to the Loft Mountain campground, and get a campsite. There's a place there that if I get there early enough, I can take a shower for, I think, $5. They do have some resupply food. I don't really need a resupply right now. I got to look and see when the next wayside or the next store is going to be. There's three campgrounds through here. There's Loft Mountain. I can't remember the name of the other one. Then there's Big Meadow. Big Meadow. Looking forward to getting to that one, because then I can get into the lodge, get some AC. But we'll see. I've decided, because these days are so short, I am not going to put. I'm not going to do a daily video. I'm going to probably do a video every 3 to 5 days. So just put the highlights in there, and that'll just have to do. Of course, yesterday I had the big highlight with that big ass bear. Woo-hoo. That sucker, man, he was big. My buddy Timmy back home's like, dude, you need to be packing a gun. Timmy, you don't understand. First of all, it's illegal to carry a gun out here. I want everybody to understand that. It is illegal. You cannot carry a gun out here. You cannot get a permit for 14 states. And I don't live in Virginia. I don't even know what the laws are here, but I know that on the AT trail, it is illegal to carry a gun. People do it. People are stupid. That's kind of the way it is. Yeah, I'm not going to carry a gun, especially when there's no need to. I don't carry bear spray. There's no need to. Black bears, unless you put yourself in a position where you're endangering them or endangering their cubs, in the case of a mother bear, there's nothing to worry about, other than when these dumbasses don't store their food properly overnight. That just blows my mind that a guy, and I may have heard him wrong, but I could have swore he said he was a doctor, and he said he was also a pilot. I'm sorry, man. If you've got that kind of ignorance in your brain, you got no business being either one of those. You're a danger to society. And out here, you're a danger to every other hiker. You're a danger to the bears. And that's just not cool. So, it doesn't matter. I constantly run into people like that out here. I'll never understand. But that's the conservative mentality. They know it all. And just ignorant. Just straight up ignorant. But I hope he's watching this. If you are, make a comment. Dare ya. I'll blow your ass up. And I'll delete you. So, if you're out here hiking any trail and you're not storing your food properly, don't come on the trail. Look at this little guy. He's right in the trail. Hey, buddy. All right, I gotta come through, so I don't want to scare you, but I gotta come through. All right, buddy. There you go. Good boy. Right there. Hey, buddy. You can't get any closer than that. I scared him. I didn't mean to scare him. It's pretty good, man. 3 feet away from me. I've come, I don't know, a little over 4 miles so far. Got about 3 miles, 3.5 miles to get to the Loft Mountain Campground, where I just got to make a decision. I just don't know. It's so freaking hot and humid. I'm not prepared for this yet. So, you know, if I don't do 10, 12, 13-mile days, I'm good with that. Like I said before, I'm not here to kill myself. I'm out here to enjoy nature, which I've been doing a lot of, certainly with the wild creatures out here, and to try to get my legs in a little bit better shape so I can keep up with Navigator when we go north. So, all right, it's really beautiful out here today, but it's hot. It's muggy. I'm just completely soaked in sweat. There's a part of me that wants to stop at this campground because they do have a shower and laundry. And there's a part of me that wants to keep going, but man, I think I'm probably going to err on the side of caution. Like I said, I'm out here to enjoy. I'm not out here to die. So. Today was quite a day, the end of day 3. I didn't go far. Here's the thing. It is so freaking hot and humid out here. It's dangerous for me to hike big miles out here. So I'm just not going to do it. And I think I did, I don't know, 7 or 8 miles today, somewhere in that area. But by the time I got to Loft Mountain Campground, my body was telling me you need to stop. That's too much. I was sweating so much that I couldn't drink enough water to keep up with it. So I pulled into the campground, got a site, and I'll let you see it here. Well, let's see it right now. Hang on a second. I've got my own fire pit. I've got my own bear box. I'm right at the intersection where cars come in and go out. So it's going to be a little noisy tonight, but I've got my own picnic table and I've got my tent set up. Now next door, I don't know what the hell I got over there. That's a lot of tents. Hopefully they're respectful and quiet after 9 o'clock, but we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I'm set up in here and my normal routine, but all right, I'll turn it back around again. So I pulled in here and got set up in my tent, and there's a camp store 3/10 of a mile down the road. So I went down there. I took a shower. Their hot water heater broke today, so it was a cold shower. And 2 hours after I took my cold shower, they fixed the hot water heater. So anyways, it was invigorating. It actually felt pretty good, but got my laundry done. Yeah, pretty cool. Cost $5 to take a shower. I'm good with that. Would have been better if it had some warm water, but laundry was $2, $1.75 to wash and dry. So you can't beat that. The camp store has some resupply items for hikers. And it's kind of cool. When I came walking up to the ranger station to check in at the campground, the same ranger was there that was here when we were here last fall with Navigator and Abby hiking through. That was when I'd had my shoulder surgery and I couldn't hike. So I followed them up the trail. But anyways, I think I've already said that story before. But it's been an interesting day. So I got my shower, got my laundry done, got back up here, got my food squared away in the bear box, and then realized that the wayside where I can get a burger was 1.3 miles walk down the mountain. And I did try to get a ride down there. I ended up walking the 1.3. So by the time I got down there, I was sweating. Not too bad, but I didn't completely waste my shower. On the way back up, after my burger and my blackberry lemonade, which was really, really good, I got to the intersection, had to walk maybe 100 yards, stuck my thumb out, first car that comes up, stops, gives me a ride up. So didn't have to walk again. But yeah, it's been a good day. It's cooling down now. I got a good breeze in my face. Man, this is going to feel good tonight. I think the temperature is only supposed to get down to about 69, but that's with that breeze blowing. Wow, it's going to be nice. So tomorrow, um, I'm either going to do 8 miles or I'm going to do 14 miles. We'll just have to wait and see. I'm going to put this down because I got kids looking up behind me. All right, so that's basically it. I got in my 8 miles before, it was probably around 11 o'clock, and I've just been hanging out here and taking care of my chores. And I'm going to get an early night in bed. I don't know if I mentioned it in one of my other videos. If I did, I'll edit it out. But I didn't get much sleep last night. That big ass bear that I saw yesterday, it kind of got in my head a little bit. And where I was down deep in a valley. Yeah, and it was definitely bear country, or at least that's what my mind was telling me. So it was a rough night last night. So I'm going to get some good sleep tonight. Anyways, I'll see y'all tomorrow.